Hey guys, it's Fly with me, and today I'm going to be talking about dreadlocks. Are dreadlocks nasty and or dirty? Uh, it depends on the person who has them and how they take care of them. I've seen a couple people with some pretty nasty dreads, but that was because they weren't taking care of them right. They were washing them with regular soap and it was building up and it caused the dread to look like it had it looked weird. It was like you squish it and stuff came out. That's what that was. But now with my dreads, where I wash them with all natural soap, Vital Goods. Yep, that's what I use, and I don't have any buildup with it, so I like that. Do you wash them? Yes, I wash mine. Some people, they just run water over theirs and they kind of do their own thing. But I wash mine with Vital Goods. Yeah. How do you wash them? Well, I can't really show you too well because I've got my hair up in a bun. I just took a shower, but if you can see these lines, there's a line there, and then there's a line there. Mine are sectioned off into like a kind of grid type thing, but I go between the grids, the lines, and wash like each individual dread at the root. So that's how I wash my hair. Other people might wash theirs different, but that's how I wash mine. Do bugs live in dreads? Yes, they do. They live in mine. I have one that stays right behind my ear. His name is, Bob. But no, in all reality, we do not have bugs in our dreadlocks. That's just not a thing. How did you do your dreadlocks? I did twist and rip and crochet. There's quite a few different ways you can do it. You can do back comb, twist and rip. You can do twists and crochet. That's the methods that I know of. Why did you do them? I did mine mainly because I wanted to learn about patience, and dreads take a lot of patience. And a lot of people do them for like a spiritual journey, hence the patience and everything like that. But I know there's a couple people that I've met that just do it so they don't have to brush their hair, and hey, I don't like brushing my hair. I never did, and I don't have to now, so I'm happy with it. Are dreadlocks high maintenance? It depends. It really depends. Mine aren't, because I don't try to make them look like any dreads that I've seen. My dreads are my dreads. They're gonna look like different from everybody else's. No dread is the same. But the only thing I do is use this thing right here. It's a little crochet hook. It's a 0.75 millimeter or something. Yeah, millimeter. This is what I use, and you pretty much just kind of like go in and out of the dread, kind of like. I would have to show you. I'll show you on a different video. But yeah, that's pretty much the only maintenance that I do to mine. I mean, I do some palm rolling and stuff like that, but it's not every other month. It's just like whenever I feel like my dreads are feeling frizzy. What types of hair can be locked easily and what types of hair are harder to lock? Straight hair is a little bit harder because when you wash it, if you're not careful with starter locks, they try to kind of like slip out when you're taking a shower, and for the first couple of months, really, you have to kind of like, if you're washing a dread, you have to hold it like in place, like don't fall out, please, kind of thing. Now if you have like frizzy type straight hair, it's a little bit easier because they're not trying to fall out as easy as they can with just straight hair. There's actually something holding them in, which is the frizz. Now with afro textured hair, I would have to imagine that it's got to be a little bit easier because, I mean, it's coarse, so it has something to hold on to. But yeah, I didn't have, a terrible time with it, but I had to really watch out how I was washing my dreads in the shower because there were times where I would like wash one at the root and I would grab it and it would just kind of fall out. Like it felt like I just brushed it out. So yeah, do you wake up and do your hair every morning? I've had this question asked by a couple people that don't really understand how dreadlocks work. They kind of think that it's just like curls, like, people wake up every day and curl their hair. It's not. You have to deal with it for quite a while before it actually locks up. I've had mine for 2 years on the 8th, I think. I'm not quite sure. I have it wrote down somewhere, but I'll have to look. Anyways, no, you don't wake up and do your dreads every morning like you would curl your hair or straighten it or whatever. Dreads stay in your hair. Can you style it? Yes, you can, but I have a lot of trouble. You know those little roller thingies that you see old 50s grandmas wearing in their hair? Yeah. See, I tried to use those to curl my hair, and, no. No, it did not work. It did when they were shorter and, thinner, but now that I'm up to a year and a half, well, pretty much 2 years, I don't know why I said a year and a half, it worked when I had shorter, younger dreads. But now I would have to get those curling rods. It's like a little rod about, I don't know, it's about this long, about the length of my arm. And it pretty much, you curl your dread around it and then you bend it up because it has a wire in it and it holds it there and it curls it. I tried it with a curling wand. It didn't work like that. But yeah, you can style it, but it takes a little bit more effort. And, well, I wouldn't say it takes more effort. It just takes a little bit more time. What is cultural appropriation? Okay, so this is basically something that somebody made up because they thought, okay, well, they're doing something that these people do daily because it's their race or something like that. Cultural appropriation plays into dreads because, well, first of all, there's some people out there that think that if you are white, you should not have dreads because it's not cultural appropriation or whatever. And then there's people that think like Rastafarians were the first one to have dreads and all that stuff. And in all reality, the Egyptians had dreads before anybody. I'm pretty sure cavemen had dreads before anybody because they had no brushes. You can't really say, you can't do this because it's my whatever. Like, that just don't work. Do you use conditioner? I do, but it's not your regular everyday conditioner. It might be a regular everyday household item, but it's not really used for conditioner and straight hair. I mean, it sometimes it is, but I've never heard really any of my friends with straight hair talk about it. But I use coconut oil, olive oil, or tea tree oil to condition my dreads. Regular conditioners, they have like a lot of additives and stuff that get stuck in your dreads and you have to deep clean, and when you deep clean you gotta squeeze and then you gotta let it soak and then you gotta squeeze and you gotta let it soak. And it's just so much easier to just dip my head in some baking soda water and just let it sit there, and all the coconut oil or tea tree oil just kind of, leaves my head. It's much easier that way. Can you dye it? Yes, you can dye your dreads, but it is a lot more effort and time. Because with dye, if you're bleaching your hair, first of all, you have to bleach it multiple times and you have to keep squeezing the bleach into your dreads in order for it to actually get in there and work. Now, you can't, with straight hair, you just put it on, sit down. dreads, I have bleached my hair and dyed my hair multiple times since I've had dreads, and with bleach you really have to sit and squeeze before it dries or else it's not going to work, and I usually have to use multiple bottles, and my dreads are only that long. So, you know, it's a little bit more time and effort, but hey, it all pays off in the end. How do they work? Dreadlocks work... Okay, so imagine you have a bunch of string and you sit there and you rub it between your hands. You just keep rubbing it between your hands. Eventually, it's going to knot up into a ball, right? Okay, well, with hair, it does the same thing, but it takes a little bit longer for it to fully mat together. So, that's pretty much how it works. It's if you take a bunch of hair and you rub it together or crochet it together, whatever, it's gonna stick and mat together. That's pretty much how dreads work. Do they smell? Nope, no they do not. They smell pretty good actually. That's mine anyway. There are some people out there that don't entirely they're not entirely used to dreads yet, and they don't know how to take care of them, and they don't know the whole if you leave it wet for forever it's gonna mildew and mold and all kinds of stuff like that. Now, as far as I know, I've met like one person that did not know how to take care of their dreads, but that was mainly because they really didn't care. So, there's some people out there their dreads smell, but for the most part, we keep our dreads clean, Are they clean? Yes, they are, depending on your situation. I keep my dreads clean because, for one, I want a job. Two, it's already hard enough to get a job with dreads, so keeping them clean is the best option that you have. Three, I don't want gross dreads, I want my dreads to be presentable and smell good and, just look good, But I don't walk around with my dreads smelling like, ass. But that's just me. What is maintenance? Maintenance is when you take one of these bad boys and you jack your hair up with it. No. You take that and you, knot your hair up more than it already is. There's palm rolling, there's root flipping, there's root twisting, there's just a bunch of stuff. I will explain it later on in this video, I promise. Do they hurt? I have had this question asked many of times, but it's like the piercings I used to have in my face. If it hurts, why would I keep continually, wearing it? Like, if it hurts, why would I do it every day? No, they don't hurt. I mean, they can if you get them crocheted and, you get your whole head crocheted and then you just kind of, go around flopping your head around. Yes, they hurt. It hurts, okay? But now, if it's just a regular everyday, you're fine. You're not going to feel it. It's just hair, but, What does it feel like? The best possible answer that I can get close to this is if you've ever had, one of those little tiny rubber bands for baby hair around your hair and you kind of, push it against your head, but you're not really pushing it against your head, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it feels like. It feels like your hair's bundled up and just kind of moves all together. That's pretty much what dreads feel like. Sometimes they can be heavy if you get them wet when you're showering. A lot of people can get neck problems from dreads, actually, because they're, so long and full that when it gets water, it kind of, pulls your head back, But mine aren't to that point yet. When I had extensions, it was a struggle to take a shower. I had to have, a wash rag at the bottom of my dreads and, a string tied around my neck to keep myself from, not dying. But that probably sounds really brutal, but I promise you don't even feel it. It's whatever. Are all dreadheads hippies? No. No. There are a lot of, well, I'm not going to say a lot, but there are some businessmen out there that have dreads. They're not hippies unless they're hippies on the weekends, but hey, do what you want. But no, as far as I know, not all dreadheads are hippies. I'm not a hippie, so, you know. Are dreadlocks expensive? They can be. They can be. I'm not even gonna lie. If you are hell-bent on keeping your dreadlocks perfectly cylindrical, no frizzies, no root issues, no lumps, no loops, no nothing, then it's gonna be expensive because, for one, you can't keep that kind of maintenance at home unless you are really good and a cosmetologist yourself, and you gotta buy so many crochet hooks. If you're using a crochet hook, it's probably gonna break at some point. Like, it is inevitable. Crochet hooks are terrible. Now this one, I've had this one for about 6 months now. It's actually doing pretty good. Now, it bends like every once in a while. Like, I can bend it right now and I'll actually show you guys. I hope I don't break it. Okay, so I just bent it. You see that little crook in it? I'm gonna fix that and show you. See, it doesn't take much effort at all. I could have snapped that if I wanted to, but I don't want to, because this thing costed me $14, and I don't want to have to buy another one. So, you know, it can be expensive. Do I need a professional to do my dreads? No, you don't, unless you really have no idea what you're doing, but I did mine myself. I went in blind. I had no idea really what I was doing at first. See, I had dreads twice, and